right, so 5, 4, 3, 2. Reggie McGrady, how are you doing?
Good, I'm good.
Good. Thank you so much for joining Candid Convo with Crystal.
No problem, no problem. Congratulations on it too.
Thank you.
I
I'm
like
really excited.
I like the title.
Thank you. I'm not only this title, I'm starting this year, 2020, but I'm going to be having a panel show starting in January. So I'm going to have the other talented McGrady's on starting in January.
Awesome.
Delise doesn't know it yet. Your sister doesn't know it yet, but I've already let Shireen know. So she's excited. So, so I'm really excited to start with this subject because this is a hotbed of information that we're going to be talking about today. And then I'm going to be getting into more subjects later on. So
Awesome.
let's get started. You are not only political, but you're also a creative. You are really in touch with social justice. So I really want to start there. And then am very excited to talk about toys, noise, and action figures.
Awesome.
So how do you feel now that Mr. Joseph R. Biden has been elected to our presidency?
I think everybody, there's a sense of relief.
Okay.
I think that's probably the best
way to put it.
Way to describe it. Because it's there was elation after the 2008 election with Barack Obama. There was this milestone that had been reached, and everybody was like, wake up the next day, you're still wondering, is it real? And everybody's excited because it was unprecedented. Mm-hmm. And then now there's the relief, and everybody's going, now we can get back to normal, which you don't want to go back to whatever normal was before. That's the fear that comes with it, is that it got so bad that we're like, let's just go back to what it was. And you're not
exactly. Well, I want to stop you right there because something that you said was the fear. It was very interesting to me because, first of all, were you surprised? Were you surprised? I'll be honest with you, I was surprised.
The outcome of the election?
Yes.
No. Here's why I say that, because for everybody that was concerned, because there's again a high level of anxiety for everybody in society, that at least a common sense, decent human being, there's a high level of anxiety. Like, what if we have to go through another 4 years of this? Are we even going to make it? But the reality is, we're in a difficult place when there's that much anxiety going on, because you're not able to think logically. And I had always said, number one, no man, no society could do wrong, can do just inhumane things and not pay for it, whether it be God's wrath or whether it be karma, whatever you subscribe to.
In some kind of way,
there would be do things and go unscathed. It's just impossible. So America has to learn. America has turned into a society that's like a fat little kid that cries and whines and wants to eat candy and donuts all day and refuses to eat any vegetables. And let's say Barack Obama comes along and he's just salad. And then you want to complain about your salad and you don't like the salad. So you go right back into a fit and you eat donuts, which Trump would be a donut. Exactly. And then you get sick. And then you and that little kid has to learn, like, you have to do something right that you really don't want to do. So you can't continue to treat, like, let's say we take Black people, for instance. We're not the only ones that have been wronged by America. True. But we definitely have been run over by America. So you can't continue to treat Black people the way you did and then think that that type of evil is not going to spread and permeate society. So we had to get to a Trump in order for America to go, oh, that was ugly.
To turn the corner.
Right. And even then, even in doing so, evil doesn't go away without a fight. So there was a record number of voter turnout because on both sides. Mm-hmm. And so in my mind, I told everybody that had this high level of anxiety that talked to me about it, either America hasn't learned this lesson yet, and Trump gets reelected. We haven't hit rock bottom yet.
Right.
Or America gets so desperate and goes, no. If we got to pick the evils, fine. Let's just pick the lesser of two evils. Because we picked the lesser of two evils forever in politics.
For years.
And this is the first time it's been like, no. We'll do it. Please, let's pick the lesser of two evils. And fortunately, there's a historic element to it because you have Kamala Harris and all that. But
we'll get into that later.
I looked at it like, hey, after the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s, we as children of the 80s, we grew up in a world where we looked at the grainy footage from the 60s and all that. And Martin Luther King, technically he died not even 10 years before some of us were born.
True.
But to us, it feels like 50 years before. And then we grew up in this world where you're able to go to school and you take for granted going to school with kids of different colors and different races and ethnicities, because America had got to a point where it had been so ugly on camera that it got subverted. So we thought we were that far removed from racism and all that. And that's not what happened. It just got subverted, and then now it's back.
So you think that people just needed to be slapped in the face, unfortunately.
Do you ever watch any of the Star Wars movies?
Absolutely.
The Sith always come back every 30 years.
They do. They come right back.
That's just the way human nature is. We forget things. That's why you have people who can grow up poor, and then they work hard and they make some money, and then they forget what it's like to be the poor person.
Right.
That's just the way it goes. So,
and they never want to be poor again. And
these kids that are growing up right now, they saw how ugly it got and everything like that. It'll get subverted again, and it'll just exist in policies that you're not really digging. If it doesn't affect you, it doesn't bother you, and then it'll grow again. It's just like the market, the money market.
Yes.
There's fluctuations. We're on an upswing right now.
Yes, thank goodness, honestly, because we, like you said, took a huge downturn after President Barack Obama. So, I'll say, I was cautiously optimistic. I knew that it was important for me to get my word out there, and it was important to vote. But I do think there is a certain amount of people that just like the anarchy. They just like the hatred. They don't want to truly see this man for what he is. So they just want to vote for him just because, or they want the norm. I've been Republican for years. I've been doing this for years. I don't care what he's done. I'm just going to do it anyway. And I said, this is really sad. And I've had these conversations. That's why I know that. That's why I say that.
But I think the Republican part of it is, you got to remember, it's not the Republican Party anymore. Republican, what we know of Republican was, or GOP was Ronald Reagan, was John McCain.
True.
So Barack Obama's election swung that party into an extremist level. Every party, I mean, liberals, Democrats, there's a far left, but they're not an extremist, because there's a longer checklist of things that liberals and Democrats go through. Like when you look at he's a senator that actually had stepped down, Al Franken.
Yes.
Al Franken's from Saturday Night Live.
Yes, he's a comic.
Trading places. This man got accused of inappropriate behavior.
Yes.
And the Democratic Party was like, Al, you got to step down. But when you look on the Republican side, these dudes could have their mistresses get abortions. They could get caught in gay scandals. They could do all kinds of stuff, because all you have to do is there's a short list, checklist to qualify. If you don't like outsiders or immigrants or people of color, you're against abortion, but once they have the baby, fuck the baby. Sorry.
It's okay.
and then say God every now and then, and you love guns. Guns, God, anti-abortion, hate outsiders.
Guns,
That's
God, pro-life. Guns, God, pro-life. That's the
you can
shirt.
do whatever you want after that. You could be as scandalous as you want, which has nothing to do with God, but okay.
Right.
But you got to remember, with liberals, there's this long checklist. So it's easier to get an extremist side of that party, because you now have, those things are based on exclusion.
Yes.
Those things are based on judgmental, pointing fingers.
Pointing fingers,
this litany
judging
of
you.
things is like, how do we provide more rights for more people? How can we be more inclusive? Now, I'm not saying that the Democratic Party is innocent of anything.
No.
I'm just saying that they're held to a higher standard.
Higher standard, a different standard.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, in this President Trump, our current president, is one of the lowest integrity. Donald Trump. Right. He's cheated on every wife. He's done the lowest integrity things, but people just keep following behind him, and then they look at it as charismatic. And, oh, well, he tells it like it is, and he's so blunt. No, but are you truly listening to what he's saying? Are you truly, does he truly care about you and care about what
you gotta think, do they listen to what they're saying?
No.
Here's the thing. There's plenty of people I heard it said during George W. Bush administration, because he wasn't a rocket scientist, but the thing was like, well, I like him because you could sit down and have a beer with him. But I don't care if I can sit down and have a beer with the president. Like, here's the thing. I've had homeboys that I grew up with, and you know what it's like growing up in Oceanside.
Yes, I do.
I've had homeboys that I grew up with, loving to death. But when I got to a certain age, and I've been in my career for years, and got into management positions, and I remember some of them realized whether their rap career wasn't going to work out, or they got kids now, so they're like, I got to leave the gangbanging life alone, or I got to leave the drug life alone. Hey, dog, I might have to holler at you about a job. And it's not that I don't want to see them succeed and I couldn't help them, but I'm like, what you're asking for, you're not ready for. I would have to fire you. They're going to have to do the work. You can't qualify. And it's not that you would never qualify. It's just right now you won't. You got to take some steps, and then we could talk. Now, in my career, I can't owe a foreign entity a dime. I can't be compromised by one. I can't nothing. So my clearance, I have to sign a Hatch Act every year, so I can't campaign for any candidate or political party while I'm in my job duties. Right. In my job capacity, I can't do that. You're the president. Just because he speaks like you, like if a black dude, I love my people, but if I don't care just because you black, I'm not gonna vote for you. And furthermore, if you get up in front of the podium and you like, hey, my nigga, check this out. What we gonna do, right, is when you do that, I'm like, that's not the job for you. I don't even want my doctor talking to me like that. But you have people in this country that they feel validated when positions of authority are filled with people that hold the same hatred that they have. So once they start hearing somebody sound like that and they want to push them to the forefront, it's not because sometimes they just don't even care about what's good. They don't care. They don't care. As long as we hate the same people, you my guy, and I'm going to get you in a position because we hate the same people. That's not good for anybody. That's not even good for them.
Yes, I agree. It's interesting. You want to carry guns. You want to carry guns in public, but then you also want to tell me what to do with my body. But as you said, that's all they care about. That's all they care about.
Does that sound like and in no way do I judge any Muslim nation or anybody that the United States wants to point at and call terrorists based on westernized policies that are being enforced over there for financial gains, because I know people are going to react a certain way when you're trying to survive. but we call like Al Qaeda, ISIS, Hezbollah. We call out all these people or whatever, and because there's a religious core to their beliefs and what they're it's an other. But then you have people right here in this country that are the American Al Qaeda, the American ISIS. They ride around in their trucks with flags, and they're not even American flags. They got the Confederate flag. That's not even America. Or they got the Trump flag. That's not an American flag.
That's not an American flag. They're riding all up and down Georgia, up and down the streets of Fairburn here with Trump flags, and you don't know why you're even carrying that flag. It's just you don't care. That's it.
They know why. They know why. They know why. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know why. And I get it. Human nature is tribalistic. It's very tribalistic. And we just set certain criteria to what that tribalism is based on. So, like, I have a dog. And people joke about animal lovers and pet owners, and they say like the dogs take on certain traits of the master and the family, certain habits, same sleep time, same wake up time, almost damn near the same diet.
Yes. My
dog is not a black human being. My dog is not blood related to me, but because we've had him for so long, he's part of this tribe.
Yes.
If I don't like somebody, my dog probably ain't gonna like him. If I like somebody, my dog's like, he's cool.
Yes.
That's literally the way that you could adopt a child in your family from the time they're a toddler. That child is going to take on characteristics of your family
and so looks and traits.
Yes, it's a part of being a human being. But the thing about being a human being is that people forget that yes, we're animals, but we aspire to be more.
Absolutely.
So that's why we have rules in our societies. That's why we set up laws in our societies. If we just went off of animal traits, when a man sees a woman he's attracted to, there's that caveman thing.
He's going to go after that.
Back to the cave. You see something that you want from somebody, you go take it from them. You don't like somebody, you feel threatened by somebody, you kill them. Those are animalistic traits.
Right.
But as a human being, you go with a higher brain function and you go, no, we can't do that. We have rules against that. So people forget that because every now and then people fall into those basic animal traits and they become criminals.
And that's when you have those thoughts of integrity, right and wrong, and things like that.
So America, and my point in saying all that is America has fallen into animal traits. And because of tribalism, we decide what's okay and what's not okay. So it's okay for you to ride around in your trucks and have guns out and go up to the state capitol and complain about the governor, but then if you see a bunch of black people with guns and saying, "Hey, we're gonna get rid of the cops in our neighborhoods. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that," they are criminals because your tribalism says that this tribalism is wrong.
Is wrong.
So America again, animalistic, and we aspire to be more. So President Obama was the aspiration,
right?
But Trump is the animal, and that's exactly mob mentality, and that's who America is. We want to be more, but we don't want to do the work to be more.
We don't want to do the work. We don't want to do the true work and put ourselves out there to do more and be better, and see what are our next steps to get to that to get to that top. So my next question.
Real quick, everybody starts off like right now we're in November, so and I know the pandemic's going on, but traditionally gym membership's going to go through the roof January 1st because everybody has already said they're looking at these magazines, they're looking at Instagram, and they're like, this is what I want, this is what I aspire to look like. That's who I'm going to be. But who you are is who you are by the time you get to February and you haven't gone to the gym or you went twice and you're sitting at home and you eating whatever unhealthy food that we eat. That's who America is.
Right. I'm laughing because my birthday's in March and I've already put my plan out there. I've already said, oh, this ain't gonna happen.
It's better if you're real.
True. But this is who I am. But okay, so let's go back to what you were saying earlier. A lot of people are saying that I did not vote for the Democratic Party, but I voted for Kamala Harris. What do you say to those people who she's vice president. And what do you say to those people that are voting for, because he put Kamala Harris in that spot?
I don't think there's anything wrong with cherry picking what, because everybody does that with every candidate.
Yes,
there's a bunch of people right now that have been trying to convince us for the last 4 years, 5 years that, well, I don't like Trump as a person, but I voted for him because he's this, that, and the third.
That was my point.
You had that on the other side. You had it on the other side. Now again, there's a longer litany test. There's a longer litmus test as far as why you voted. So voting for her, that's one part of it. But she had to have been accomplished in some way for you to vote for her.
Absolutely.
Now everybody wants to look at black people and go, we only voted for her because she's black. No, black people don't work like that. Gary Coleman was going to run for governor in California. People don't remember that. Gary Coleman's black.
Yes.
Gary Coleman's black. As soon as they said Gary Coleman's going to run for governor, I was like, come on, Gary. What you talking about, Gary?
Right.
Like, it's Al Sharpton. I'm not complaining about Al Sharpton. I know people have their opinions about him or whatever, but Al Sharpton was going to run for president. I'm not voting for Al Sharpton.
I'm not voting for Al Sharpton. Mm-hmm. Well, and the Grand Wizard was in California. He ran for president as well. Now I'm forgetting his name, but he ran for president years ago. Now I have to remember his name, but he didn't win. But he ran.
Guy from Fallbrook?
Yes, the guy from Fallbrook.
Metzger.
Yes, Metzger. Yep, he ran. Thank God that he didn't win, but he ran.
Right. But that's what I mean. With black people, we're not looking at a. So
and you were saying yesterday when we were talking that we're not monoliths.
Huh?
We're not monoliths. Yeah.
No, we're not a monolith. But again, we fall more on the Democratic side of things. Even if you're black, I'm an independent. I'm a registered independent.
Okay.
But my belief system tends to align a little bit more with the Democratic Party.
Right.
And when I look at a Biden-Harris ticket, there's a whole bunch of things that I go, well, this is why it's easy to say I'm voting against Trump. And I think the majority of the nation did that. That's why he had record numbers and the turnout was crazy without them doing a lot of large in-person rallies and things like that. There wasn't a bunch of door-to-door going on or whatever. And you still had a record turnout behind a lot of people voting was that I'm voting against Trump.
Okay,
but let's say it wasn't.
Go ahead.
Let's say it wasn't Trump. There was still a whole bunch of things on that list that I would have backed them because of that.
Because of that. Okay, what do you say, speaking of all of those people that voted for Trump, what do you say to those? There was a huge statistic of black men that voted for Trump.
It's huge because traditionally we don't break the 5%, maybe 10% threshold. So black men were what, 16%? So that still leaves you with 84% of black men that voted against
Democrat. True.
So it's still an overwhelming majority. Everybody wants to say, like you say, huge, but you're not the only person that said that because, again, 16 is a surprising number.
I feel like 16 is a surprising number, and I think 16 is something that we need to at least look at and find out why.
We could definitely look at it, but again, and we talked about this before. That is a headline that the media is going to run with because there's always a reason, number one, to separate black men and black women. Because everybody's been saying since 2018 how black women saved Alabama from Roy Moore, his pedophile ass.
Yes.
How black women are carrying the Democratic Party, this, that, and the third, or whatever. And then now the new storyline is, it was the black vote and black women and yes, Stacey Abrams and
Stacey Abrams. And
you're talking about a whole group of black women that went to HBCUs,
right,
technically led the charge to save this nation. But you still got to remember, there was 84% of black men that were right there. Now, one thing that did start to divide, that added to that 16%, was that there was a lot of heavy critiquing and criticism of Joe Biden for the past crime bill. There was a lot of
Heavy
discussion
critiquing
about
from Ms. Kamala Harris.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
as a previous DA.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. There was an effort by at least some of the 16% of black men that backed Trump to say, if I had to guess, because I'm not them, but there was an effort by them to go, we're going to scrutinize and critique our vote. And then, you know, and I'm sure there was a small percent that looked at the Herd Platinum Plan, which was the most
ridiculous and insulting.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Huh?
Let's talk about that for a minute. Do you think that Ice Cube or any rapper or entertainer, I don't want to say has the right, but do you think that they do have a voice? Do you think that they are able to put forth a plan for us to have a better state of living for Black America?
Because of the unique circumstances of Black America, it's always been the entertainers, the athletes, the public figures, as far as, like, let's say preachers, like back during plantation slave days.
Sure.
It was the preacher. There's always somebody looking for the Black leader, and usually the Black leader coincides with public persona and notoriety, which falls into entertainment, athletics, the church, preaching. But the fact is, we're the only race that everybody comes to our celebrities to negotiate with. No, Ice Cube shouldn't be speaking for us. No offense to Ice Cube, because again, I've told you before, I have the greatest respect for Ice Cube, because having a hip hop background and growing up in the culture, he's part of one of the most groundbreaking groups ever in music.
You and I both, you know, we were raised in California. Love Ice Cube.
Exactly. And is he a subject matter expert on things that affect the Black community? To a certain extent, yes, because he grew up in the circumstances that many of us grew up in. So he can speak on it. But we're supposed to take our experiences, just like every other community and tribe on this planet, and you go to your elders, you go to those. There's plenty of Black people who have gone to colleges and schools and have been educated and are in public service, who hold office. You go to those people with those plans and you go, listen, I'm holding you accountable. I don't care if you're a Black senator or mayor or governor or whatever. I don't care that you hold those positions. I don't care how many degrees you have. We're going to hold you accountable by bringing you our ideas and saying, we need you to put this forth. Because again, America is a monopoly. It's a monopoly board. Right. It's a board game. And if I'm sitting at the board and I'm the guy that's playing and I'm playing my hand, I'm not going to go and ask some neighbor or some celebrity or whatever who ain't even in the game to come over and give me some ideas or whatever. I'm playing the game. I'm the one that has my monopoly money. I got my dice. I got all that right there. So those are the people that hold public office. Those are the people that have the degrees. Those are the people that know public policy. And then you come to them. I don't need Donald Trump coming to negotiate with Lil Wayne. Fuck Lil Wayne.
Fuck Lil Wayne.
No, I'm just saying, I love Ice Cube. I could give a fuck about Lil. I'm sorry if I'm cursing.
No, it's okay.
But I don't care about Lil Wayne.
I'm actually not a fan of Lil
Wayne.
But
they belittle us by going to speak to our celebrities.
That's what I really want you to speak on.
I know Ice Cube means well, again, but take those through the proper channels so other people could respect Black people, because they don't respect Black people because they keep coming and talking to our celebrities. Look,
do you think that he has that? Do you think that so is my understanding that he put put together a team of people, whether it be engineers or what have you, to put this plan together. I do think that naming it the Platinum Plan was ridiculous, but I also think that he may have done it the
Trump
wrong
put
way.
together a team, or Ice Cube?
Ice Cube, before he put this plan together.
So here's the thing.
I'm asking.
Ice Cube did. I'm not faulting Ice Cube. I'm saying Ice Cube shouldn't be the face of it. What happened was he got on TV to talk about it, and then they used him as a celebrity to manipulate. Yes. Which the devil does. Anytime you try to make a deal with the devil, you're not going to win. There's nothing beneficial for you. I don't care how much platinum they put on it. There's no benefit that you could get from making a deal with the devil.
No benefit.
The devil is there to do you in.
The devil, no matter what, like even if he's in disguise, which he usually is, he's going to do you in. So you saw
what they did. They come out with this tweet going, bravo to Ice Cube for being willing to come. They used him. And mind you, Ice Cube, I'm sure, did not mean for that to happen. Again,
no, he even said, I didn't meet with anybody. I sent it.
He said, I presented it to both parties because who's ever in power. But here's the thing, Cube, you don't need to present it. You're the man behind it, and I'm sure you have the resources. I'm sure you got the funds. I'm sure you got everything you need. But they're not going to respect what's being offered if it's coming from a celebrity. They only do that because a celebrity benefits them. It's
no matter what, they're going to manipulate manipulate him and his name. They're just using it as his name.
If the person was Harvard grad, I don't know, Jamal Jenkins, and he's not a celebrity, but he presents it and he's like, I also hold the 4th district of so-and-so and this and that. And he's not a celebrity. He's actually somebody in the business of, and he's a public servant.
Yes.
So he's coming forth, and the other side can't use his name to say, hey, we're going to get an endorsement out of this, or we're going to say, hey, why do people take pictures with celebrities? If you met your favorite,
if I met a celebrity and took a picture with us, because it's exciting that I took a picture with a celebrity, and to get to say, hey, I got this picture with this celebrity, to get my name and their name out there.
Who's a celebrity?
For the accolades, for the accolades.
No, I'm saying, but who's a celebrity you've taken a picture with, and who?
Gosh,
just pick one.
I would probably pick an old celebrity, like Heavy D.
No, I'm saying, who's the one you've actually taken a picture with?
Actually taken a picture with? Oh, gosh. It wasn't a very well-known celebrity. I'm trying to remember.
Doesn't matter. Who was it?
The guy from Power.
Did you show it to anybody?
Oh, yeah. It's on Facebook.
Why?
Because I wanted to.
Do you know him? Hold on. Do you know him personally?
No, I don't know him personally. I can't even remember his name right now.
But why did you show it to people?
Because I wanted to, hey, I got this picture. Hey, look at me.
True story. I took a picture with New Edition.
Yes.
Okay. I took a picture with New Edition. You know how many people have seen that picture? There's kids at my job that don't know who New Edition is, but they know Mr. took a picture with him. You know why? Because I know good and well. I'm like, hey, look, somebody. I took a picture with somebody.
Right.
So that's what they do to us every time. Do you think Donald Trump's going to take a picture with Jamal Jenkins that graduated from Harvard? No, he doesn't care. Now, if he really cared about the plan that you present, to be like, yo, I'm more concerned about this plan and making it happen. I took a picture. My people came out and said, we talked to Ice Cube. I took a picture with Lil Wayne.
I took a picture with Lil Wayne with my thumb up.
All they're doing is saying, we need your vote. And then after November 4th, if the election would have been over and they would have got all the black votes because of that, then
they would have said, oh, Lil Wayne helped me get the votes.
No, actually, what would have happened on November 4th if it was a rap and they got all the black votes because of the pictures they took with Lil Wayne and talking to Ice Cube and Platinum Plan? November 4th, they would have been like, so about that Platinum Plan. And they would have been like, what Platinum Plan?
What Platinum Plan? What are you talking about?
Never
but don't you think that we're the black community is a little bit smarter than that? That we know good and hell.
No, we're absolutely smarter than that, and that's why
he lost.
Only 16% of black men, and I'm not even going to put it on the sisters. I'm sure it was 99.9% black women did not, they voted for Biden. They didn't vote for Trump because sisters are smarter than us, no offense. But it's a fact that it didn't have any effect, but it was enough to insult. It's not supposed to benefit us. It's enough to just insult us. That was for their base. You think when he came out and said, hey, we came up with the platinum plan, we talked to Ice Cube, do you think he lost any of his base? No, because his base knows that they were disrespecting us.
He knows that they was disrespecting us and insulting our intelligence by getting our rapper.
His base knows that. They might be a bunch of, I'm sure they got a bunch of hicks, we know that.
Good old boys.
But they know when they're insulting black people.
Yes.
That's the point. You can eat here, but you need to come around the back.
But you need to go around the back to get served.
That's my point. So America has a history of insulting black people, whether it be dog whistle, whether it be outright. They have a history of insulting black people, and it rallies their base because they're just like, as long as we keep insulting them, it's entertainment for us.
It's entertainment for them.
None of his base was like, wait a second, a platinum plan? You doing all that for black people? Hell nah. They weren't. None of his base said that.
I think they also get shocked when we don't fall for it. So for instance, I really truly believe this man was on the golf course. I really truly believe that he thought that he was going to get reelected. I really think, I was like, what do you? From
his base, not from us. That's what I mean.
True.
Even if his base wouldn't have been shocked. Number one, they're not shocked that we don't fall for it. They don't care if we fall for it. If you walk down the street, you walk down the street and some racist white person yells out and calls you a nigger, and you keep walking and you ignore them, they feel like they won because they're like, and you didn't say so. Now, if you turn around and you respond, they're like, I feel like I won because I got under your skin. No matter what.
I got under your skin.
You don't even need to beat it. You don't need to respond. You could be on a stretcher dying. They don't care. They said it. And the point is, I feel good because I yelled out nigger. So when he gets up there and tries to insult us with a platinum plan, his base doesn't care if we respond, if we fall for it. They don't care. We're not a factor. The fact is, one of them made an insult to black people, and that's all they care about.
That's all they care about.
And that's all America has ever cared about. Whatever we do, they don't care. Now, what they will care about is money, dollars. Black dollars make a difference. So that's why every company that gets all this backlash because something racist came out and black people go, we ain't spending no more money with them. That's why there's a quick apology. That's where there's a Blackout Tuesday. That's why there's a Black Lives Matter all of a sudden. They didn't care about black people before until they started realizing dollars on the line.
We spend the money. So that actually goes to my next two questions. So in this next year, now that we have President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, what do they need to do in the next 4 years? I'm going to say the next 2 years. I really think we need to not sleep. Yes, this has happened. Yes, we've accomplished this. To me, this truly proves to all those people that say that their vote doesn't matter, their vote doesn't count. I truly think that we had a hand in doing this and getting this to making sure that this happens. So now he's got a lot of work to do. What do you and his first order of business, he said, is the coronavirus. Yeah. I was talking to my neighbor yesterday, and she says she thinks that everything's going to get shut down again just so it can reopen. I'm not sure about that. What do you think?
He's going to tread lightly. I don't think there's going to be. Okay, so if we want, again, there's a way, there's something that we aspire to, and then there's America. Okay, so what we aspire to is where the country goes, here's what we got, we know what we got wrong, but where the country goes, we have a pandemic going on, and the country's leadership, especially at the executive branch, goes, we have to shut everything down, but we have to make sure that Americans can pay their bills.
Right.
So, because that's what we were fighting against. Hey, the economy is going to tank. The economy shouldn't tank if there's a pandemic. Usually, if this is Monopoly and we're all sitting at the table playing Monopoly, if all of a sudden somebody runs into the building and they're waving guns, are we still sitting there at that table playing Monopoly?
No.
Hell no. Time
Hell
out.
no. Absolutely.
Hey,
I'm
don't
outta
touch my
here.
pieces, but time out. We got to hide. So the pandemic is the gunman that just ran in the room. So you pause the game and you go, yo, everybody, we should be straight. But because America, number one, is not self-sufficient in our economy, we're part of a global economy because we've outsourced so much. So we can't afford to stop the monopoly game.
We can't afford to stop that.
We can't afford to stop. And then on top of that, we don't have enough of socialist policies, because every time you use the word socialism, even though Social Security is socialism, even though taxes is what your tax money goes to is socialism.
It's socialism.
All kinds of stuff. We've been subsidizing banks and all that to save the economy, the auto industry. That's all socialism. But anyway, we should have enough of a socialist policy where we go, there's a pandemic, a gunman just ran into the room, pause the monopoly game and make sure that everybody's okay first.
Everybody's safe.
And then once we
first.
subdue the gunman, then we can get back to the game. That's the way it's supposed to go. But it didn't go like that. All of a sudden, America was like, wait, we're supposed to be up here. But in reality, we're a capitalist dog-eat-dog world, and we don't know how to stop this game. And technically, that pandemic, because we're capitalists, that gunman should be able to come in here, and I'm supposed to be able to sell you, if you could afford it, bulletproof vests. I'm supposed to be able to sell you bullets. Because that is an opportunity to make money. But America doesn't know how to just say that's who we are. We're an animal. We're not who we're supposed to be.
We're not who we're supposed to be. And I feel like we're not being defensive. We're not, thinking smart. We're not thinking smart.
No.
And I don't pretend to know the answer, but I know that what we've been doing is not correct. So.
No, that was the answer. That was the answer right there. We should have been able to go time out. We got to make sure. Why are you handed out $1,200? $1,200 in the last 9 months?
Yeah.
You handed out $1,200. People have lost their houses, lost their jobs, lost health insurance, all kinds of stuff, because you have people that were against the ACA because it's socialism. Right. But then they had good jobs, but now they don't have their job and your insurance is now lapsed. Okay, all that happened. But what should have happened was, yes, we're a capitalist nation, but we paused this capitalist game so we can focus on taking care of the pandemic and make sure that everybody's straight. Pause the game right now. But America won't admit that we can't pause the game. So that's why you got right and left arguing with each other, because the left is like, hey, what about humanity? And the right is like, you know better than that. We got to make this money. We got to keep this going.
And we've got to
keep the machine
running.
An animal. Exactly.
Let's go back to what you said earlier. Of course, we were speaking about Ice Cube and put this plan. Who do you think is better equipped to put a plan together, or that would?
He's equipped. We're all equipped. He's very equipped. I'm not saying that, like, for instance, I'm not a public servant. I'm not a mayor. I'm not a senator or anything like that. But I am a citizen who's grown up in the Black community. Right. And not just in the Black community, but in suburban community, that kind of thing. Because when you say Black community, people go, so you grew up in a ghetto? Like, no,
they immediately assume we grew up in the ghetto.
Right.
But I do believe that the community that you and I grew up in, we had white, Mexican, high population of Mexican or Hispanic, and Black. We had a very high population of everyone in our community. It's
a military town, so you get all kinds of people from everywhere.
Absolutely.
But I think so. We're all. It's not that you just have one expert. We're all experts because we're American citizens. So we all have to come to the table with our experiences, and then you can get a generalized understanding of what everybody's basic needs are. So Black people, yes, we could all, Ice Cube, even Lil Wayne. Even Lil Wayne may have something to say. You know what I'm saying? And you go, okay, let me take these suggestions. But again, you take them to the actual experts, the actual people that are in that position. Because I might have ideas about, if I have a family member or a loved one that's sick, I may have my experience in what I know and what I've learned and go, this is what they can use. And I may have some old You know how we have those old school remedies? Yes, but once I take that family member to a doctor, that doctor is the one with the expertise.
Yes.
So I go, hey, this is what we've done, this is what, and the doctor goes, I can tell you what'll work. I can tell you what I could prescribe. I can tell you what treatments we should get them on, that kind of thing. So you have your expert, the person who's supposed to actually be there, going to Congress and negotiating. Going and we have lawyers. We got Black lawyers left and right.
Left and right, all over.
People that know the
Are we
law.
utilizing them though? Are we
That's
really utilizing our community?
We do. I think that's another myth. We do utilize our community. But the problem is, again, other communities don't respect our experts.
Right.
They just want the opportunity to take a picture with this person. And you guys, you know him, right? You know him. I took a picture with him. And that's why.
Relatable?
That's why.
I got Lil Wayne next to me. What?
Again, there's people all the time. I guarantee you, there's Black athletes probably right now that, as talented as they are, they'll have other people trying to negotiate with them. And the smart ones will go, whoa, time out. You need to talk to my agent.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Talk to my manager, talk to my agent, stop.
He'd be a fool to negotiate by himself. The agent's like, I know what the rate is, I know what the going, I know what the business is. You know what I'm saying? And there's plenty of times, if I walk into a courtroom right now, I need to make sure I got a good lawyer with me.
Absolutely.
Because I already know the deck is stacked against me because I'm Black. It's probably a good idea. I don't want to defend myself. I might be smart, but I don't want to defend myself. So Black people, we are stuck defending ourselves because we keep putting, or other communities keep putting our celebrities first. I want to know about your new mixtape. I don't want you to go negotiate in front of Congress on behalf of me.
And it's so interesting you said that they are truly disrespecting us, because any other race, that we're the only race that they use our celebrities, especially our rappers to, and I shouldn't use air quotes, our rappers to put as the face, but there are no other races that do that. Like you have
who do they go and not to. Because anytime you bring up a certain race or community or whatever, people think you're being racist. Okay, when was the last time you seen them negotiate with the Jewish community and they went to talk to Steven Spielberg?
Never.
When was the last time you seen them go speak to the Latino community and it was like, hey, George Lopez. No offense to George Lopez. I love George Lopez.
I do actually. I love
They
George
don't go
Lopez.
and just go, hey, I'm going to talk to your celebrity. I know he got some great ideas and I could take a picture with him. They don't do that because they know better. But with us, it's always about it's always a Black celebrity that they want to talk to. And again, we have some great Black celebrities that could be motivational. They got great ideas and this, that, and the third. But you'll tell me you're ready to really negotiate with us. Like for instance, you're starting to hear more and more, starting to get some traction about reparations. This is the first time I think in history there's really been serious talk.
They've been talking about reparations for years.
You heard about the city in North Carolina that just adopted a resolution for reparations?
Yes, speak on that a little bit more, because they've been talking about reparations for years, and now this year they're truly, like you said, getting some traction on it.
Well, this year is different because again, this is the new 1968-69, where there's been a upheaval. You watch 8 minutes and 46 seconds of George Floyd getting murdered on camera, and during the pandemic when everybody's at home to watch it. Normally one of our people is getting shot down on camera, and most people, Black people, come to work and you're down like, dang. And most of your coworkers are like, what's wrong with you?
Right,
they don't
you
even
see it
realize
afterwards.
But now they had a chance to actually watch it happen. And then with everything else going on, because everything reached a boiling point this year. And so I think this is the first time everybody's able to kind of look at the whole situation with Black people and say, okay, this is something we got to really take into consideration. And then now people are Googling and they're like, wait, what was it? The Tulsa race riots? What?
Yes.
The Black Wall Street? They're seeing that on because of the TV shows and things like that. So these
because of Lovecraft Country, because of not just Lovecraft Country, but my favorite, Watchmen.
Okay. So now for the first time, because in America we're just not taught, even in our public schools, we're taught about that slavery thing happened, and then fast forward 100 years, Martin Luther King, and then that's it. That's all you get. So Black history, Black accomplishments, Black excellence,
yes.
Black suffering, those are all electives.
And
in high school,
when I tell people,
mm-hmm.
when I tell people that in junior high, I only had 2 paragraphs that talked about slavery in the history book. And I actually went to the teacher and I said, this is not right. This makes no sense. So you're just going to cover it in half a day and that's it? That this is all we had. That's all.
Now mind you learn, again, everybody's contribution and suffering is a part of this country's story and needs to be discussed. I learned more about World War II and the Holocaust in school than I did the Black experience and the Holocaust that happened right here with us.
Right.
And the fact that more than 4,000 documented lynchings happened between Reconstruction and 1965. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I had to, those are all things I learned on my own.
Mm-hmm.
They're historical fact. It's not like Black people wrote it down in our own history book.
We didn't make this up.
It's public documentation, but it's not taught. So this is the first year with everything going on and coming to a boiling point where white America was more exposed to it and started digging it up themselves. And once they started getting exposed to it, they were like, okay, what's that reparations thing that we're talking about? Because technically, didn't other groups get some form of reparation, some form of compensation when they start learning about redlining and things like that? And all this stuff sounded like conspiracy theories when we were saying it, but now that they're looking it up themselves, they're going, okay, this is something we need to take into consideration. So in North Carolina, I don't remember the exact city. You could Google it, but they actually passed a resolution this year. I believe it was after what happened with George Floyd. Mm-hmm. And they were like, we have to look at some sort of reparations package. They also are looking at it in California, but there they actually passed it, where they're going to be like, we're going to look at home loans, mm-hmm. Educational opportunities, things like that. And the city's not majority Black. I looked that up too. The city is not majority Black, but they're like, hey, we're gonna take steps to make it right. And now, for years, people were under the impression whenever you said reparations, a Black person said reparations, they're like, hey, you're not taking my tax dollars and just giving out.
You just want money.
Yeah. And Dave Chappelle even made a joke about it on the Chappelle show, when Ashley Larry went and bought a whole cigarette truck and all that. So I get it. There's a certain perception of how the money's just going to be squandered. But again, we're talking about public programs to write systemic racist policies. The war on drugs was a systemic racist policy. We all know that.
We know that.
It was a failure. It was a failure as far as a war on drugs. But if you did what the Nixon administration was planning on doing and what J. Edgar Hoover was planning on doing, the war on drugs is a success.
It is.
Because you have more people of color, Black people, incarcerated than you did at the end of slavery, than you did in slavery at the end of slavery. More in the penal system than you did slaves at the end of slavery. So J. Edgar Hoover and certain government entities got what they wanted in the war on drugs. But it's public face where it was just like, we're going to have a war on drugs. They didn't win that. There's plenty of white kids ODing on heroin right now. Okay? So we understand that it's something that, as far as reparations are concerned, people are understanding there are certain systems that were set into place that we have to make right. You can't just go, hey, we got this great head start, and hey, you better catch up. It doesn't work like that. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think at this point, if they were really talking about reparations, let's say tomorrow there was Joe Biden's administration was we are ready to go to work. Let's get this reparations thing. They're going to call Ice Cube. They're going to call Lil Wayne. That's what I'm saying. Like,
they better not.
They can't negotiate. I don't need them negotiating
for me. They don't speak for me. Although they think that they do, they don't speak for me. They don't speak. And as you were saying earlier, there's so many people that, and the Black community as well, didn't know about Juneteenth. I said, what are you talking about? You didn't know about Juneteenth. This is ridiculous. So
we're not even from Texas, because that's where it
happened. And now they're talking about making it a national holiday. And what?
But don't know what Juneteenth is, or why it was, and they actually think, oh, you just want another day off. Oh, you just want this. Oh, you just want. No, this actually did. They thought we were making it up. No, this has been. I said, I'm from California. We've been celebrating Juneteenth for years. Yeah.
It's so interesting that, as you said, if they did want to put in a plan together for reparations, would they be looking at our celebrities to put this plan together, or would they really truly go to, I think that if they were to go to our leaders, and if they would almost be concerned that they would actually get something done.
That's the point. That's why I said it's an insult. You don't actually want to get anything done. You want a photo op.
You want a photo op
that you want to use to manipulate us. Your base knows that.
You want a photo op with your
if you really wanted work done, like
with a high profile person.
For years, I had opportunities in DJing.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I've told people, because I got serious about my business. Especially once you buy equipment, you're like, nah, I need to make that back. Any business you go into, you're gonna be like, yo, I know what my worth is. I know what my investment is. I need to get that back.
Right.
So I learned to go, what is your budget? When I talk to people, because I need to know right now, I have my price, but I need to know your budget is going to be able to afford me.
Right.
So I don't even get into it, like when they call me, hey, check it out. Listen, man, I want to holler at you real quick. What is your budget? Because I'm this much an hour. I'm that much an hour.
Right.
I'm ready to talk business. Now, if you just want to take a picture with me or call me up so you can tell somebody I know a DJ, I know you're not talking business. You're not talking business. Out of that. Yeah. No. That's just a small microscopic
microcosm
looking at it. But I need people that want to negotiate with our community to talk to our money people. Do we not have accountants in the Black community?
Oh, absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So you need, if I'm doing a plan, I want to talk to the money. I want the money people right there to go, this is how much we need to make these things happen in our community. This is how much of a deficit we are in the average Black household compared to the white household. I need people that could talk could speak to that and negotiate on that end.
I don't need the rappers. I don't need the movie stars. That's not going to help me. And honestly, as you said, it's an insult. That's very interesting. It is an insult for you to keep asking me or keep taking pictures with these people, thinking that, oh, this person's going to get me more votes. This person's going to say how relatable I am to the Black community.
It's deliberate.
Yes.
It's deliberate.
So let's get into toys, noise, and action figures. That was a great transition because, as you said, you are a businessman and you are a creative. Right. And I see that room behind you. So, and you've got a couple videos up right now. What's going on? And I also want to talk about I know all the McGradys are entrepreneurs or creatives. Joseph McGrady is a photographer. And the sisters McGrady, who Candid Convo is going to be introducing later. Yes, they're educators, and I would love to bring them on to talk about growing your family, an unconventional way. So, and they've had Serenity Childcare has been in business for 20 years, since 2000.
Absolutely.
I remember when I remember when when the sisters McGrady was just getting stuff in their home, and I was like, all of this is this happening? And it happened.
Shireen was always a visionary, and that's and she's the oldest, so we kind of all followed her lead on being entrepreneurs and being innovative, because she's always been the one that had an idea, and you kind of go, that's crazy, and then she does it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so
just inspiration to me. I've always told her that she's such an inspiration to me, because we started in the apartment, Riverview Springs Apartments.
I remember when she brought it up one time. I mean, they were always, into helping kids and educating kids. We get that from our mother.
Yes.
And it was just one of those things where we had to be innovative, because growing up we just didn't have money, and we weren't well off and things like that. And my parents got 4 kids, 7 total that were raised in that household, and then every other kid in the neighborhood was always there. And so
that's how you and I became family.
We had an idea, we were visionary about things, and then we would go make it happen with hard work. So like even when it comes to the toys, noise, and action figures or whatever, it's just utilizing what I already knew and what I already had. So being creative, I grew up drawing, and so I was always into drawing and comic books, and my mom spoon-fed me Spider-Man from way back when we were little babies in New York and things like that. So it's being creative has always been just a part of my makeup. And then I had always been doing music and things like that for years, and recording music and DJing and whatnot. So I was like, how do I merge it? The things that I'm really passionate about, and doing a toy review channel / influencer channel / hip hop channel was the next evolution on putting all that together, all the things that you love doing, and at the same time being able to spread some positivity. On one end with music, I've done social political content and music, and it's not because I want to do angry music, but it's more because, hey, these are the things that are going on, we got to talk about it. And then on the other end, it's like, hey, but also there's positive things to live for and to look at, and things that you love doing, and escapism. You can merge those two. In the Black community, we don't talk about politics at dinner.
Exactly. I feel like people are too afraid to merge those two, as you just said, or people are truly afraid to say what they're really feeling. And that's something that I really want to promote, is truly say, which even if you don't agree with me,
right,
that's okay.
Right. You could disagree without being disagreeable. And that was one thing that even on my channel, there's times that I've said things where I'm just like, hey, I know things are crazy right now, you know what I'm saying? But, show empathy for each other. We could still do that, you know what I'm saying? And again, tribalism will make you believe that you can't do both. You can do both. You can, like, and again, in the Black community, we got plenty of family members that we might be like, man, my cousin get on my nerves, or my brother get on my nerves. But if you see somebody come after your cousin or your brother, you're like, yeah, I got your back.
That's it.
You better not touch him though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a way to be able to disagree with somebody for their own good. Like half the time we think about it's personal. I'm mad and I'm going to say what I believe, and you better not say nothing against. No, what you're doing is
sensitive.
Like, no, I'm trying to look out for you too. So when Black people are telling America and the rest of the world, hey, this ain't right, what's happening to us, we're not just saying it's not right what's happening to us. We're saying be careful, because it can happen to you too. If you're allowing it to happen to me, this ain't going to stop with me.
Right.
So by the time we get to babies being separated from their parents at the border and put in cages, Black people are standing there going, we try to tell y'all.
Yes.
So on my channel, when I'm sitting there trying to give you entertainment at the same time, I'm also at the same time going, but I don't mind talking about these other issues. You see what I'm saying? And you have to be okay with that. If you go to my social media page, you're going to get some pictures of some toys, but then the next post might be like, but you see this bullshit happening?
Yes. And how can we, so what's in store in the next year in 2021 for Toys, Noise, and Action Figures?
For with this shit, with everything going on with the pandemic, everything's moved to virtual.
Okay.
I'm also working with some partners on a website. It's a Black-owned online retailer for collectibles called TF Basement, tfbasement.com.
Okay.
And some brothers out of the Bay Area that I was able to connect with.
That's outstanding.
Because contrary to popular belief, Black people are well entrenched in comic book and collector culture and have been for years. I mean, people act like, I've spoken to people that think that I'm some sort of anomaly because I'm into it. And I'm like, you don't realize Ghostface Killer was calling himself Iron Man and Tony Starks back in '94? Like,
yes,
like these are hip hop artists that have always loved. Superman is in one of the first radio raps ever when they're talking about let her quit a boyfriend called Superman on what's that one song, Sugar Hill Gang. You know, I said
Rapper's Delight.
A Hibbited.
Yeah, Rapper's Delight.
Okay, yeah, Rapper's Delight. He mentioned
Yes.
Superman in that song. You know what I'm saying?
We are showing our age. That was 1979, 1978.
Right. So we've
Yes.
always been entrenched in the culture. It's just that our representation by the creators, content creators, wasn't there at the time. You know what I'm saying? They were selling to white people, white Americans.
I was going to say, was it that it wasn't there, or did they, that no one thought that no one was selling to us? No one was looking to us for that representation.
Right. So with Toys, Noise, and Action Figures, it's more of an effort to go, like even I do interviews with other Black people that have grown up in our communities, and they talk about their experience with growing up Black and being into comic books, and growing up Black and being into toys, growing up Black being into He-Man, and I can't tell you the number of times that go over the years doing music and having my best friend who was my producer. We were roommates at the time. You get the most gangster dudes that would come by to work on music, and they would come into my room to say what's up to me and look up inside my closet, and I had all these collectibles and toys on display. And these, I'm like literally killers. I'd be like that, but I knew guys from the hood.
No,
they would
Deep Valley Rips, we know. I know.
And they were turning into 10-year-old kids again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So there's levels to being a human being, and even more levels to being Black. And so that's what I'm trying to display on the channel. But I do have some great relationships with a lot of designers and the toy manufacturing industry that have been very supportive. They support the channel. So just I have some connections coming up with them. But again, it's all contingent on the COVID situation. So like San Diego Comic-Con is something that I'm always at and interviewing people and whatnot. So we'll see if that's going to be on for 21 because it got canceled for 20. And I'm also planning on doing an EP that specifically markets music that ties in, that coincides with the whole toys,
Noise, and Action Figures. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what's coming up. And then my brother, like you mentioned, my brother Joseph,
I was gonna say, did Joseph direct your video? He's
directed all the visuals that I've done so far.
Okay.
Yeah. He's and the thing about Joseph is like he's probably one of the sharpest people I ever met. I know he's my brother. It's easy to say that,
and he's very smart and very low key.
Right. Right. He's always been the type that even as a kid he would break something just to figure out how it works.
That's outstanding.
Which would get on my nerves because I got OCD, but he would just break stuff to figure out how it works. And so even now when I create music, I'm visionary visual. I mean, sonically. He takes what I hear and what I create, and then he comes up with a visual for it, or idea for it, and then he shoots it because you know, he's a videographer, he's a photographer, and those are the kind of things he's been pursuing. So and also for the channel, he's going to be doing some again with the noise aspect of it. We're going to be doing some music reviews, things like that, because we have these crazy conversations about music. So I can't wait for that too.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Oh, I'd love to post some of that on Candid Convo, just as just some excerpts, or my new segment that's coming up in January. And this is actually my studio. Shout out to Joseph McGrady, because he actually does some training. This is actually of my photography studio. You'll see I have lights behind me on the other side of the camera, and he'll do some training. I'll send him a message on Insta.
He's giving you technical support.
Yes, he'll give me technical support all the way in California. And I said, Joseph, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. Okay, this is what you need to do. So shout out to Joseph McGrady. Like that, like you said, I'll just send him a message. This is what I need, and he'll say, "This is what you need to do. This is how you need to change your settings." I'm like that.
We have, not just in my family, I'm saying in the Black community, we have this remarkable culture and community where it's even the way we even learn is different from the westernized way of learning. We learn in a hands-on. Let's do it.
Yes.
Show it to me, and I'm gonna do it. Anytime you introduce Black people to something you said our culture can't do, we do it, and we do it with style, and we do it the best. And so, like, when I look at, you know, even just what me and my brother and my sisters have been able to accomplish, it wasn't technically from, hey, we might go to school afterwards, but we were figuring out how to do it before, just based off of not really having nothing. So, like, when you say, like, he helps you out technically on what to do. If you look at my channel, if you look at some of the earlier videos, it's very rough. It's very rough around the edges. And then he hits me up and goes, yeah, here's what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'll change something. And I'm like, oh, it looks way better. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I love about Black people is we're just so innovative.
We're so innovative. And I think that for so many years, we've been told that we can't do this or we shouldn't do that, that messes with our minds. That messes with our self-esteem. I'm confident, and not because, you know, my mother raised me to be confident, but at the same time, when you've been kind of positioned or put in a place where you shouldn't be confident, then that gets suppressed. And also, I almost feel like that sometimes we don't have each other's back. We are one of the only races that we don't support each other. And I would love to have you talk about that another time. But
there's reasons. There's reasons though.
Absolutely. No, I know there is.
That's a whole nother episode though.
And I think that with what's going on here in with what just happened last week with us having a new president, it's almost like, do we really look out for each other? And so that was just very interesting. I am so thankful for you coming on to Candid Convo with Crystal.
I appreciate it. I do. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. I will be posting this. And actually, Reggie, I want to take this time out now to see if maybe you can come on and do once a month, because there is so much more to be talking about.
I mean, it's kind of weird even having that, like, request, like, you know, because you one of my sisters. I mean, you go so far back with Shireen and all of us. Kind of silly. I know it's all like for pageantry to be like, I'd like to have you come on once a month, but I'm like, you know, you can actually call me up like in the middle of an episode and be like, I need your opinion. Yes,
that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Calling you up and say, I need your opinion on this, and I'd love to have you on Zoom again and reach out. And next time, I definitely want to get Joseph McGrady and Delise and Shireen, two Black female entrepreneurs on. So thank you so much.
Again, congratulations on just Candid Conversations with Crystal, because Oprah's going to be retiring soon. Yes. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead and put your bid in.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, though. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. Okay.
All right. God
Thank
bless you,
you.
Crystal.
God bless.
All right.
Thank you.